Hey there, welcome to one of my more recent rehab projects down in southern Arizona, and we're sitting in a home that we recently fixed and flipped. And a lot of folks ask me, what does it take to actually get into a fix and flipping business? And so I decided that I would love to create kind of a series of videos to help those who are not only investing already to be able to project themselves even further, but for those who have a full-time job, are kind of trying to figure out, how do I get into this game? Like, how can you juggle both? How do you get in, have your career and invest going on? So there's some different things that we'll need to do to figure that out. But to get you started, I really want to get your wheels turning over what I call your investor DNA. So during the course of this video, we're going to show a couple of cards that I want you in your own mind to organize in priority of which one fits you the most and which one fits you the least. And then at the end, I'm going to implement and ask you to actually either in the comments below or in an email, you can reach out to me at info@quinnreig.com to send us what was the most important, what was the least important, and then together we're going to talk about maybe what type of investor that you would want to be. Now the fun part is my business is at the point where I get to talk to you personally. So if you want to get on the line with me, definitely reach out to me in that email and we'll go from there. But let's kind of move into this topic a little bit. So when I was a heating and air conditioning guy, and my job was to fix air conditioners, I went out on a regular basis and I would install a new system for somebody's home. And that would put me in touch with maybe, other contractors of other areas, plumbers and electricians and roofers and carpet and tile and, painters, you name it. And I realized that as I looked around these homes that I was working on, that I could visually see what this home was going to become. My mind has the ability to see something for what it could be. And in taking that, not only what it could be, but how to work backwards from where it is and the steps necessary to work it through to get it to that point. I know there's plenty of other people that have that ability. And if you don't, that's okay. If you still want to be able to rehab, it just means that you're going to need somebody on your team who does have that ability. But the point that I'm trying to make is that I saw this in myself and I went, you know what, I could rehab these homes. The problem is I don't know what I'm doing. And the second problem is I don't have any money. I'm a paycheck to paycheck employee. I take care of my family, but that's about as far as it goes. So I stood back and I'm like, what do I do? So I went out and started getting myself educated and using tools that were available to me to go out and figure this game out. And so I started the transition from being Stephen Quinn, the heating and air conditioning guy, to Stephen Quinn, the real estate investor. And at some point in the middle, my brain finally tracked on to that switch of I'm not Stephen Quinn, heating and air conditioning guy, trying to do real estate. It's I'm the real estate investor who's stuck still doing air conditioning. And so it was an interesting switch. So anyway, it's kind of fun. But my point is, as an entrepreneur, it gets hard. You have to be willing to put in the effort. Too many people make this business look easy. It is in the sense that it's rewarding work, but it doesn't mean that you get to go sit on a beach and do nothing. Okay, someday you can grow a business to that point, but in the beginning, you got to work your butt off, and you got to put in the effort and the hours, and figure things out, and you got to get that education going. You got to create a network. So what I wanted to mainly talk about, so we're going to throw up this investor DNA. I want you to take a look at those, and then after you've taken the moment to analyze those, I want you to come back to yourself, write that email to me, and we're going to look at it and pair up and figure out what type of investor do you want to be. Do you want to be a rehab investor? Is holding a property better and creating rents? Maybe you want to do multifamily units and have more doors for the one property and create more cash flow and income that way. Maybe you like to have a whole lot more zeros behind the money that comes in and you want to be into the commercial side of real estate investing. Maybe you don't like to deal with any of that stuff and you'd rather just own the paper and understand how to work with tax liens, how to become the bank and actually be a lender for other people's projects. There's just so many different ways to play in the real estate sandbox that it's really important that you figure out what you are in that industry, what your DNA says is best fit for you. Because what you're going to be able to do once that's over is you're going to slide in and start building a business based on that model. You're not going to go start rehabbing a house if you really want to have rental properties. And you're not going to go out there and make an offer on a commercial building if you really want to have multifamily housing. So my point is we want to figure this out. So take that time, take a look at this, and as we move into the next series of videos, We're going to actually start giving you the first steps that you need to do to make that business, now that you know what you are, start to be built. Like, what principles do you build on? And then from there, what do you need to do to establish a good base for that model? And then from there, what are you going to do to start creating the lead sources? How are you going to generate leads to purchase properties, or depending on whatever type of investing you're doing? So we want to give you the greatest base possible. I want you to be successful. That's my greatest hope out of all of this, is that more people can get out of the rat race, can have a fulfilled life, and can do that. And I found that real estate is a really great avenue and a vehicle for being able to achieve those goals. So thank you for watching on this episode. We're going to catch you on the next ones. Thank you very much.